Okay. Location number 7. Another SCMB trail system. This is Silver Creek and Slusser. Really fun trail system just outside of Aurelia. It's got a little bit of everything, except for maybe a big aerobic score, but I'll get into that as I work through. I love these trails. I love Slessor. This is the Silver Creek side, but I love Slessor. Silver Creek and Slessor are on 2 different forest tracks, separated by around 1 kilometer and a bit. These trails are open to anyone. You don't have to be a SCMB member to ride them, but there is a connector trail between the 2 that is for members only. It goes across private property. So if you're not a member, you have to do a little more. Basically, if you're not a member, you would do all of Silver Creek or all of Slessor, and then have to connect the 2 trail systems with a little bit of rail trail and a little bit of road, but not much. Little jump. I would say Silver Creek is very similar in its kind of trail style feel to SCMB Oro trails, except it gets more technical. There's a lot more rock in here eventually. I haven't made it to the rocky bits yet. But then Slessor is a completely different experience. And I think that makes it cool that the 2 trail systems are so close to one another, and yet they're so different. Nice little boulder feature. Yeah, there's a little, let's start with technical. There's just a little more rock in here. I know SCMB Oro also has the boulder features, but there's just a little more constant rock and roots in here that makes the trails a little more technical than Oro. They're not super technical. Sounds like I have a bit of a brake rub on my rear wheel. See, little rock gardens like that don't really exist at SCMB Oro. Nice little flowy section, but I'm not talking about flow yet. So this now is the connector trail between Slusser and, oh, there's an airplane up in the air. That's cool. Connector trail between Slusser and, well, Silver Creek, which I just did like 2/3 of, and then Slessor, which I'm heading to. The connector trail is kind of like 2/3 of the way through Silver Creek. So you do have to be a member to ride on this section. But they've put a lot of work into connecting these trails, including putting in monster trucks. And given the work that they've done, please, again, support your trail clubs, mountain bike clubs. It's really not that big of an expense, and they create great trails for us to ride. I am now in Slusser tract. Out of all the SCMB tracks, this is my favorite. I find it very different from Oro, Silver Creek, which are really sandy, kind of pine forest based trails. This one is more hardwood loam, maybe not loam, but hardwood dirt. Damn, I had that. Okay. I'm determined. Well, damn it, I thought I had that. Jesus. Oh my God. I don't know how many attempts I'm gonna keep in the video, but that log skinny took me 10, 12 tries to get. But I got it. And it brings up features for single track Silver Creek and Slusser. There's quite a few. There's several log skinnies, a lot of boulder features, some jumps, Between Slusser and Silver Creek, there's a fair bit. A lot more in a condensed trail system than something like SCMB Oro. But man, that skinny took me way too many times. I made it, sorry, I'm wiping the lens off. But Slessor has a fair bit of stuff like that that you can just session. That one's a little bit high, so you know, not what I would consider a beginner log skinny, but still features you can session, makes it a lot of fun. And for that reason, I give Slessor and Silver Creek an above average score. A little bit above average, but above average score for features. Boulder feature. There's a couple of those going in the other direction that I'll do on the way back. Both Slusser and Silver Creek are just loops, and they do run in both directions. And there's good stuff in both directions. At least I ride Slusser in both directions. I generally ride Silver Creek only in one. Couple more boulders. But you know, coming back to Slessor being my favorite of the SCMB trails, I've mentioned before, I'm more of a enduro or trail rider as opposed to a cross-country rider, and although Slessor doesn't quite have the downhills of an enduro course, the trails themselves are not nearly as XC, I would call it. They're a lot more like mountain bike trails, you know, like trail trails, not XC trails. I like the features. I like the challenges, the technical. It's a bit steep on the other side. Coming up here is a boulder feature. Yeah. There's a cool little spine to go down, up, down. Didn't go up it. Had to duck my shoulder and head around that inside tree, but hey, I did it. I've had problems with that boulder feature before. Didn't know that there was the first time I didn't know there was a wooden ramp going on the other side. And so I wasn't lined up for it and had to bail at the top and cut open my knee. That was fun. Such a fun little downhill here. And that's Slusser in one direction. I'm now doing Slessor. I first did it counterclockwise. Now I'm doing it clockwise, because the trail does run nice in both directions. Some features are direction specific. I've talked about features already. I've talked about technical, aerobic. These trails, Silver Creek and Slusser, do not have any big climbs. The one that I'm on right now, which is the downhill that I did, is the biggest climb. They are very up and down, but not an extraordinary amount of climbing. So for aerobic, the aerobic score on these trails is below average. Certainly less climbing here than there is at SCMB Oro. There we go. That was my second attempt on that one too. I made it the first time, it was just not very clean. Ooh. Oof. Oof. Two awfully tricky boulder features in that direction right in a row. A little bit of a washout with the sand. be coming to the end of Slusser soon. Such a good forest track, such a good trail for trail riding, mountain biking, you know. Features to session, technical, so much fun, so much fun. Okay, back over at Silver Creek, I took the connector trail back, but didn't film any of it. I know I haven't yet spoken about flow, but there's a reason for that. There's some really good flow coming up in Silver Creek. But I do want to talk about the fun and experience. I'll talk about flow when I get there. Fun and experience, these trails are a lot of fun. SCMB has done a great job making these trails full of features, full of challenges. Good flow. And like I said, Slessor to me is my favorite track, SCMB trail. So the trails themselves are a lot of fun. And there's enough here between the two forest tracks. I'm at 27 kilometers and I'm not done yet. I will end up with probably 31. 30, 31, in around that. That's me doing Silver Creek counterclockwise, red to black, and then Slusser in both directions. So there's certainly enough trail here. The trails are located just off of Highway 11, very close to Highway 11. So for people heading up to Cottage Country, you know, looking for a place to ride, these trails are on the way and they're definitely worth a stop. Okay, where was I? Sorry, I had a climb in there and I was running out of breath. Yeah, the trails are just off of Highway 11. Easy to get to from Cottage Country, on the way to Cottage Country, whatever. If you're going up the Highway 11 route towards Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, etc. Really close by to Weber's if you want to stand in line for a burger after the ride. The trails are well marked by SCMB, very easy to follow. So for fun and experience, you know, I give them an okay score. They're a little bit out there, but worth the drive in my opinion. And oh, I guess I was supposed to go down the wood part. Oh well. Third attempt on that one. I'm not running skinnies very nicely today, very well today. Anyway, that's one of the 2 skinnies on Silver Creek. Can't remember if there's another one. In terms of the flow score, I mean, Silver Creek has really good flow. Coming up to it right now. Slusser's got more technical flow, but Silver Creek has like the berms and stuff. gets a good flow score just for this, or a decent flow score just for this section alone. Whoa, loose sand. And that's Silver Creek and Slusser. You can see the space between them, which you can get to either, if you're a member, on the connector trail, or if you're not a member, via the rail trail. Anyway, happy pedaling, guys. I'll see you out there.